David and Christine meet, and Janelle and Christine discuss Janelle's departure. Kody and Janelle are conversing. Janelle's shooting pictures with Christine while Kody is having a total breakdown over everyone leaving. Christine raving about her partner. Kody and David meet, and of course, if you're wondering if Robyn will appear in this episode or this season, the answer is yes. Robyn appears and presents herself as the foolish person left standing alongside Kody, the evil narcissist. On Sunday, September 15, at 10 p.m. Eastern and Pacific Time, Sister Wives will make a much-anticipated comeback to TLC, chock full of emotional moments and new revelations. Going forward, as best they can for themselves and each other, Kody, Meri, Janelle, Christine, and Robyn will continue to offer a sincere glimpse into the nuances of their relationships. This season, Janelle and Kody's son Garrison Brown passes away tragically. Despite their deep sorrow, the family manages this unbelievable catastrophe and comes together to honor and grieve for their son. Hey guys, it's Selena here. Welcome to TLC Flicks. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Over the past few years, there has been a lot of change, and the Browns now have to find new routes to success. Meri goes one step further in her recent decision to split from Kody by requesting that their official divorce decree be released from her old church. Janelle is simply moving on, which for her entails leaving Flagstaff, and she doesn't need a divorce. In less than a year, Christine has discovered her true love in David. They move in together, go on their first date, and get married in a stunning ceremony in Moab, Utah, in front of friends and family. 3 of Kody's wives have already left, but his 4th wife, Robyn, is still legally wed to him. After the Browns abandoned polygamy, Kody and Robyn now had to deal with being a monogamous couple and adjusting to a life they never imagined leading. This season, fans will continue to follow the Browns as they experience family successes, trials, and unfathomable heartache. The press release states that Robyn experiences a brief hiccup at the very end of that, which seems absurd to me. After that, they release the trailer, which we'll discuss below. The clip that you watched at the beginning of the video, number 32, seems to summarize the start of the season. Meri mentions that she is done, and Janelle informs her of her decision. Speaking about meeting David Robyn, Kody Christine remarks, "This is not how it's supposed to go." Kody is throwing a fit and is essentially asking, what went wrong? That it wasn't another knife in the kidney surprises me. And why and I just how did I earn this right? Similar to acting like the ideal victim. Finally, Janelle mentions the property and claims that Kody hasn't spoken to her about it. It's time for her to get a lawyer since they have to pay it off. We are aware that the property is paid off in the real world. In the actual world, we are also aware that nothing has changed and the property is still in all of their possession. There hasn't been any alteration to the property other than the fact that it has been paid off. Therefore, I'm not sure if legal counsel is involved. This is covered in the next section of the trailer. It's obvious that Kody hasn't changed because he continues to minimize and dismiss his relationship with Meri, blaming her for his mismatch in marriage and attempting to diminish her value by claiming that he married the wrong person. Meri, on the other hand, makes it clear that he lacked the decency to inform her that he had married the wrong person for 32 years. Kody didn't marry the wrong person in my opinion. I think Kody was in love with her, and he's simply attempting to minimize her because everything has gone wrong and his ego is hurt. Meri ends up moving to Utah, and as we have known for a while, she has been staying at the inn for more than a year. She relocated to Utah last summer, so it sounds like this season will be catching up with 2 years. I think it was in the spring or summer of 2020. Since, according to the press release, it has taken some time to catch up for the upcoming years. Therefore, I do believe that in order to incorporate Garrison's passing into this season, they ultimately had to catch up to real time. Meri may be discussing her release with Kody, and I can see Kody becoming upset about it because he will not be able to claim her in the hereafter if she receives a release from him. However, it's also intriguing that Meri would visit the chapel in order to be freed. Although Christine and Janelle did not, Meri continues to support him, perhaps as a sign of her loyalty to him, or perhaps as a way to exact revenge and deny him any claim to her. Recall that Kody expressed his desire for Meri to not be able to make a claim against him. Perhaps she wishes to deny him any claim to her. It's possible that Meri still holds some sort of religious belief, Rather than polygamy, though, but attending church is intriguing because they haven't discussed it much. Naturally, Kody becomes dramatic at that point and refers to it as a civil war. The man that Christine is dating, David Tata, will be at this party and I would like you to meet him. I believe we are going to meet Christine's new partner. I wanted to break things up so I could talk about this specific conflict or event that occurred when David, Christine's now husband, met Kody at this party. Since Gwendolyn claimed that the party was about David and Kody meeting, even though it was actually her engagement party, I'm not sure if we'll actually see fallout. She was furious that Kody met David and that the network was fabricating a story about it when it was actually her engagement party. It's unjust that they are treating Gwendolyn to a wonderful moment and then drawing attention away from her with Kody and David's turmoil. This is a recurring theme in the series wherein moments that hold great significance for one of their children are reduced to soundbites of chaos and drama. As a result, many of them have severed their ties to the program. On her Patreon page, Gwendolyn disclosed that the network had made her sign an NDA prior to filming this party, and that Kody was attempting to have most of his children sign one in order to prevent them from criticizing and talking about him online. As a result of the network's handling of this situation, Gwendolyn has decided she will never return to the show. She said that, and I'm not sure if that's accurate or not. That was a very important turning point in Gwendolyn's change about the show, and while we know she'll definitely show up with everything that happens with Garrison, it's sad that Kody and his dramatics overshadowed her beautiful day. Oh, I'm not sure. I have to locate a dude. I refuse to pick a side. I'm not going to join the club for ex-wives. I'm not part of the Robyn and Kody group. Robyn, I'm finding it difficult not to lose respect for you. Right now, I can't even be honest with you. I can't stop believing that we could work things out. How about both of us? I've said it's done in so many of our chats. We're through. We don't get along. Thus, we will witness Mary discussing dating. She will also discuss not wanting to choose between Kody and Robyn and the ex-wives. You know, I think a lot of Mary's problems stem from the fact that she doesn't get along with anyone in the family, which makes it difficult for her to get along with Janelle. Furthermore, since they don't get along, Christine wouldn't even make sense. And then that with Robyn and Kody. I thought the scene was incredibly manufactured, and I thought it was strange that they were still filming outside of their house despite though this was all shot long after Kody. I'm still wondering what they're hiding in this house, as it seems like Robyn won't even allow them to film her and Kody inside. Why can't they just shoot inside Robyn's house? Does she really clean that poorly? She expressed that she was finding it difficult to respect him, and he responded, "I can't even get it together with you," appearing as though both of them were acting. Since Kody and Robyn are actors, I kind of feel like their entire conversation was set up. After all, Kody is obviously still determined to pursue polygamy, wants Janelle's money, and will do all in his power to win her back. That tactic has served her well in the past, but it's obvious that she is over her relationship with him. Thus, use whatever you like. I'm not sure if this is Kody and Robyn's most dramatic moment. Therefore, Kody continues to perpetuate the cult's talking points and myth that a woman must act in a particular way in order for a guy to love her. And so as she confronts him about their connection, she is hoping and wishing that Kody hadn't been such a coward and had told her years earlier that he wanted to move on and wasn't interested in her. Rather than being obedient to him or putting his wives out to pasture, Kody wanted to be like every other polygamous man. He would punish his wives by forcing them to stay married to him, taking money from them, and completely ignoring them as people. To be clear, what happened to Mary is exactly what happens to women in the OB every single day. Women who disobey their husbands, don't follow orders, stop having children, do things that their husbands disapprove of, don't do enough, don't keep sweet enough, are discarded in the same way that Mary is, and they are expected to just endure through it all because they will receive greater blessings from God in heaven. Furthermore, it's unclear to me if this season will even touch on the releasing procedure. I'm not sure if the press release mentioning visiting the church for a release will happen, and that kind of begs the question. The OB held a conference with the Brethren in September of 2023. During the conference, they discussed various relationship problems they were facing, including women who were in abusive relationships or who felt abandoned and didn't want to deal with them any longer. Additionally, women approached the Brethren to request releases, but they were told they weren't inclined to give them. And it occurred to me repeatedly that although it seems unusual that they are discussing it, Mary's release might be covered in the episode. Furthermore, I don't think anyone connected to the church will be participating in this. None of them will want to appear on camera, in my opinion. Dave Watson is not going to want to appear on camera, in my opinion. The Hess family won't be on camera, in my opinion. None of the brothers on the council, in my opinion, will be featured in the program. Therefore, if she continues in this direction, it seems as though it will pave the way for other cult females to follow suit if they choose to be freed. In a way, I applaud Mary for taking this path because it can demonstrate to other women in the cult that it is possible to leave, regardless of what the brothers say. And over the course of the last few years, Mary and Kody have worked hard to portray Mary as unstable, abusive, at fault, devoid of affection from him, the terrible one in the relationship, and the target of everyone's hatred. To be fair though, Kody has been legally married for more than 20 years, and during that time he had extramarital affairs. He was not married to the woman when he fathered children. She felt a little invalidated by those women, since she wasn't having as many children. She was the one who had to accept that, concealing the other spouses and being the family's face. She had to be the one in charge of the children's discipline and act as a bit of a bully for Kody. Additionally, Kody was using Mary as a spy, which caused Mary to become estranged from everyone. Kody was free to blame Mary for everything and claim that she was the cause of the abuse and the reason why everything broke apart. That's just him utilizing someone else to do his dirty work. It has nothing to do with me. So I blamed Kody, even if Mary wasn't the one who did it. It doesn't now. Not because the women in this system are incapable of being abusive. Rather, it is because Kody is the one who starts it all with his actions, and the system itself drives the women's feelings of jealousy and irrationality, telling them that feeling jealous is bad and immoral. It simply transforms women into the most repulsive aspects of humanity while bestowing upon men all strength and power. Thus, she remarks, "I don't think I had no idea this would turn into a fight. Furthermore, I think that perhaps they ought to fight. Maybe we should watch them fight on video, Given how effectively Kody has silenced her for so long and coerced her into believing his story of their continued marriage, perhaps it is time for them to speak up. And keep in mind that Kody wanted Mary to act as though she still had spouses that he was looking after for the cameras in the show, as well as for his church and the polygamist community if Mary hadn't forced the talk into tape. They want to give the impression that every woman in polygamy is taken care of. Their goal is to give the impression that every relationship is fair and equal. But it doesn't operate that way. I've talked to a lot of members of this cult, and the males nearly always have a favorite woman. The wife who is favored is the one who receives all the attention, presents, and awards, and it is expected of everyone else to submit to the favorite wife. And frequently, the preferred wife ends up being the legal wife. In the case of him and Robyn, after Robyn was made the legal wife, she had all power over the family. Since they were constantly mistresses, Janelle and Christine were never in charge. They were concubines all the time. The cult refers to them as that. The ladies who are not lawful wives are referred to as concubines. They therefore had no legal claim to him in any manner as a result. Thus, the lawful existence is superior to all others. Consequently, he altered the dynamic by divorcing Mary and exchanging her for Robyn. Mary ought to have a disagreement with him over this, in my opinion, and it would be great if she spoke up honestly. After all, someone has to reprimand this man, even if he refuses to accept responsibility. It seems like nobody in this family will ever correct him, scold him, or tell him he's wrong. In addition, they fear his wrath, and they most likely realize that this is a pointless endeavor since he will only deceive them. Like he does, project, deflect, make it their fault. Nevertheless, to reclaim your authority. I believe it takes strength for a woman to declare, "I'm done with this." That's precisely what I think. Thus, the Sister Wives season trailers function essentially like this. Is the first segment of the pre-season trailer that was released, comprises the season's first half. I believe there were 18 regular episodes in the previous season minus 18, 15, 14, maybe, but I'm not sure how many episodes there were in total. As a result, the first trailer that was released was essentially for the first 9 episodes. I'm not sure how many episodes this season will include. In line of this, if the number is 18 once more, then these would be the most dramatic scenes in the first 9 episodes. This raises the question of whether anything dramatic actually occurred, as even the episode in which David and Kody are discussing their meeting doesn't appear to be particularly tense or involve any fighting. Will the first half of the season be a bore fest, as it has been for the past few seasons? We might, I believe, because they're making this for the program. Mary, Christine, and Janelle will likely continue to be more honest with us. But I believe Janelle, Robyn, and Kody will continue to tell lies, and that Kody and Robyn will continue to play the victim in all of this. What do you think about the trailer for the season? What do you think of Robyn claiming that she feels foolish and that she is the last one standing in Kody, as well as what you think about Mary being released? If you are looking for more Sister Wives gossip, come back to TLC Flicks for all your updates. Bye guys.